I don't know, because I'm good with it. I just want to have something on the roads and the curbs and the sidewalks. City.
Usually it's the roads.
All right, Madam Clerk?
It's Kurt's fault for having not here.
I know. That's usually, find somebody else to blame it
Yeah,
on.
of course, yes, of course.
We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the August 5th, 2021 meeting for the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair this year of the Shawnee County Commission, also representing District 2. Joining me this morning is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1. Good morning.
Morning.
And Commissioner Aaron Mays, representing District 3. Good morning.
Morning.
Madam Clerk, our first item.
First item is item 3, consent agenda.
There are 4 items on the consent agenda. Are there any questions or is there a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflected it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, bear with me, there's a lot here today. Vouchers totaling $1,655,665.38. Under building and maintenance to Mare Crete, totaling $20,056.75 is for concrete work in some parks. Under county projects to Tyler Technologies for $17,400 is for server migration service. Under sales tax to McCown Gordon for $800,977 is for the event center renovation project, which is 98.7% complete as of June 20th when this was paid. Under general expenses to Samco, $54,995 for a domestic boiler and buffer expansion tank for the corrections for the jail. And then under local health to Stormont Vale Event Center for $159,982 is for rent and security for exhibition hall, which was reimbursed from block grant. And then also under solid waste recycling for Rarig Pacific Company totaling $74,719.04 is for refuse totes. I don't have any questions about any of this. I would move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflected it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflected it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B, Parks and Recreation number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C270-2021 facility use agreement between Parks and Recreation, Topeka Tennis Association, Genesis Health Clubs of Topeka LLC, and USD 501 Topeka Public Schools, establishing a partnership to improve Crossover Tennis Center with USD 501 to contribute $5,200 annually to the Parks and Recreation Building Maintenance Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Laurent, Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Department. So the clerk stated it very well. This is an agreement or a partnership between USD 501, Genesis, and Shawnee County Parks and Recreation to essentially raise some funds. So every 7 or 8 years, we're able to resurface the courts at Crossover Tennis Center. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions?
With this agreement with the high schools, and this is for their practice and for tournaments, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're just agreeing to make essentially a donation to
I see.
to the foundation,
But
is where
they
the
get
money
to
will
use
go.
them for
But
their practice.
we won't be charging them for their use of the courts. Nothing changes there. They're just essentially forming a partnership to help us fund court maintenance over time.
And these are 501 schools?
This is 501, correct?
All right.
Any other questions?
No, I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve by authorize and execute, made by Commissioner Mays,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflected it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B2, consider approval of request for out-of-state travel to Nashville for 3 employees to attend the National Recreation and Park Association Annual Conference for Educational Opportunities at a cost not to exceed $2,500 per person, utilizing the department budget.
Good morning again, Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation. We'd like to send 3 of our staff to our National Parks and Recreation Conference in Nashville, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions regarding this request? I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item. Thank you.
Item C, Facilities Management, number 1, consider approval of requests relating to custodial services for the Courthouse North Annex, the Health Department's 3 locations, the Election Office, the Sheriff's Office, with costs to be paid by Facilities Management through the Facilities Management budget and budget transfers from the supporting departments.
Good
Oh,
morning, Commissioner.
wait, I'm sorry, there's 2 more things I have to read. Item A, the contract with Quick Staff of Topeka for temp to hire custodial positions at a cost of $16,085.76 for the remainder of the fiscal year. And B, to post and fill up to 6 new custodial positions at annual salaries, including benefits, of $34,444.44. Now you can take it away.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nelda Henning, Director of Facilities Management. She did such an excellent job. I will stand for any questions.
Nelda, we've had custodial staff by contract for a number of years. Is it our hope that we will be able to maybe get more consistency with our custodial staff at the facilities?
We are hoping that we will have a little bit more oversight with bringing the custodial back in-house. Yes.
Okay. I know that with some of our companies that we have had in the past, they've had issues with staffing and it's sometimes difficult to get staff in and have that consistent level of, that we would want with the facilities.
You're correct.
Okay. And are we hoping that maybe we can do some preventative maintenance such as wood care or buffing of the floors and those sorts of things on an annual basis?
Yes. Yes, that is also part of what we are gearing towards with the number of staff we're requesting.
Okay. Questions?
You feel like we'll have a better handle on quality of the work that's done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then this would also include the ability to take on the new space at 707 Quincy.
That is correct. That
So-
is also calculated in this.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll move for approval of the request.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item D, County Counselor, number 1, consider the authorization and execution of contract C-271-2021 with Civic Source for administrative and technical services related to online services for the judicial tax foreclosure sale at a cost of $15 per parcel sold, with all costs to be covered by the charged court costs.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Kraus, Shawnee County Counselor. I'm asking you for your approval of this contract this morning with Civic Source. They would be a company that we would hire to do our online tax sales. And just so people understand, I may not have described this completely before, we're not buying software. We're contracting with a company to do sales of properties that have gone through our tax foreclosure process. So they already have the platform online. They're a national company. They're operating in several states. They have investors all over the country signed up already to participate in their online process. So we would be tapping into that, as well as hopefully getting local people interested signed up on this online platform. The nice thing about this contract, it only costs $15 per parcel sold to have that online piece, but they also do almost every facet of the process. So what we will do is test out how they do with other pieces of the process with the goal and the hope that we'll be able to accelerate the number of properties that can be sold per year to work on the backlog of properties that have been created over the last couple of years.
Any questions?
Yes. Will this free up some time of your staff? And
It will eventually, potentially, depending on, there will still be work that will need to be done. It cannot be, there's no way to completely outsource
Yeah.
this process, but there are pieces of it
that are certainly very time-consuming and are limiting on our staff, essentially in terms of other work. So it would definitely help.
If it speeds up the number of parcels sold, it's going to give you a little more work, I would think, somewhere down the line.
Yes, but I think, we're going to have to test out the different pieces that they do, make sure that the quality of work stays the same and that it gets done properly. But assuming that it does, and I've spoken to another county that uses this process, they're very happy with it, and they said they would never go back after converting to this method.
Other questions?
Jim, when people buy these parcels on here, do they have better payment options than what we've had in the past?
Yeah, it's online through this company.
So,
Yes, they will be collecting
so
the
no
payment.
more cashier's checks.
Right.
And things like that.
They'll
So-
be signing up and to do the payments electronically online. Yes.
You know, I think that there are a lot of positives with this option. It frees up staff time, it makes it more efficient, it makes it easier to account for, the cost is reasonable. The only downside that I can see, and just as a red flag, and as we move forward, we want to keep a look at, is by the marketing that this company uses, we would have potentially more out-of-county or out-of-state purchasers. And I know that in the past, some of the problems with minimally maintained or not maintained properties are out-of-county speculators on somebody from, West Coast or East Coast who thinks that the property price seems really cheap, and then they don't put any money into it, and we wind up with an eyesore. And so I want to see more local ownership, and so if we can promote this from within our county as an opportunity for the county to be county owners. And so,
We will do everything we can to make sure that our local community is aware of this and can sign up.
so. But I think there's a lot of positives with the program.
Yeah.
So,
I'll move for approval.
motion for approval by
Second.
Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item E, Emergency Management. Number 1, consider approval of the request to advertise and hire for the emergency planner position and to fill any subsequent position that may become vacant due to filling this position with the funding from the 2021-2022 departmental budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dusty Nichols, Emergency Management. We do have a vacancy. We would like to advertise for that emergency planner position. I will add that while initially it will be paid for out of that budget, once we identify the person and get them hired, if they fill the right requirements initially, we can move that or we can start paying out of EMPG grant funds. If they're not to that level yet, then we can get them certified and eventually move them over.
Okay. Any questions?
I'll move for approval.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item F, Court Administration. Number 1, consider approval of a request to fill a court technology support specialist position at a salary including benefits between $53,626 and $58,103 with funding from the 2021 Court Administration budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lee Welch, Court Administrator, 3rd Judicial District. We have two county employees in our systems department, and we, as the state, have hired one of those 2 employees to be the new director of that department. That leaves a vacancy for one of our 2 program specialists, so we're requesting permission to fill that.
Okay. That's what I was hoping that you were going to say today. I was
Yes.
hoping that you were not going to tell us that OJA was wanting us to pick up the director's position as well.
No,
All right, thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'll move to approve the request.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item G, Health Department. Number 1, consider approval to submit the KDHE Local Health Department Immunization Action Plan Supplemental 3 and Supplemental 4 applications funding opportunity to assist with COVID-19 response and recovery efforts for a total request of $445,000.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Derek Furlog, Infectious Disease Manager for the Health Department.
here this morning to ask for your approval to submit the application for the KDHE IAP Supplemental 3 and 4 funding. This funding is designed to address vaccine equity, vaccine access, vaccine confidence in our community. It's only available to LHD's local health departments in Kansas, and as our clerk said, is for the total of $445,000 in total. It's based off of county population in 6 tiers, and Shawnee County falls into that 5th tier. So if approved, funding would be utilized from this money to support our new vaccine and testing coordinator, which will help with our testing and vaccination efforts in the community. We'll also look at providing contractual staff to help with some of these clinics too, as the need for some of the mass vaccination clinics has sort of decreased. We're obviously out in the community a little bit more, doing some outreach efforts. We have our own limited staff who is also attempting to do walk-in clinics and back-to-school clinics and things of that nature as well. And as we move forward into the future, we want to be able to appropriately provide for our community and their requests, especially since we have the clinic survey out there. We would also use the funding to cover the expenses. A portion of it can be used retroactively to January 1, and this would be for our Ag Hall mass vaccination clinic. There's no cost to Shawnee County for this grant request, and there is no matching funds requirements as well. And I will stand for any questions.
Mr. Fleerlog, as we move forward with vaccinations, I think back to our flu shots. For many, many years, Shawnee County Health Department was the leader in flu shots. However, as more hospitals and more pharmacies were able to get the flu shot, Shawnee County decreased in those flu shots to the point that I don't know that we really offer many, if any, in the last year. And so as those increase, as we see the vaccinations increase with pharmacies, with the hospitals, where do you see Shawnee County Health Department going with vaccinations?
Well, thank you for that, Commissioner Cook, because this also is good for other lifetime vaccinations as well. So this is COVID-19 vaccine as well as other vaccines as well. So we do have the ability to offer other vaccines at these events. I do know last year, even through the pandemic, we held an influenza vaccine clinic that was, I think we had pretty good turnout at that one. And I think looking forward into this year, we'll probably do the same thing, outreach with influenza, and of course having that at the 10th Street Clinic as well. But I think to your point, that's kind of part of this is designing that community outreach effort and reaching all the corners of the county and looking at our demographic reports that we have available to us now to see who's really in need.
As we've seen less and less max vaccinations and more small vaccination opportunities and pop-ups in the community, are you looking at decreasing the size of the staff or the outreach?
No decrease at this point. I think what we need to do as far as the funding is to look at the contractual staff that can help support those clinics. So anytime Shawnee County operates a clinic, a vaccine clinic, we have to have Shawnee County staff on hand to manage that. And so that's where the issue becomes sometimes. If we get a clinic request, especially over weekends, that's mentioned specifically in the application to make sure that we're offering those clinics on Saturdays and potentially Sundays. And it gets really taxing on staff, especially since they've done this for the last year plus, to consistently ask them to do that every weekend and do their normal jobs as well. So I think this funding will help increase that availability that we have contractually and increase the access and the outreach to Shawnee County.
When you're talking about the publicity, is this something that you're developing in-house, or are you using what is maybe brought down from a national level, whether it's from the Department of Health and Human Services or CDC, and just broadcasting their publicity?
A little bit of all of the above, but we like to do, like as far as graphics and things like that, we like to design our own and obviously utilize the county's awesome graphics designers. I'm certainly no expert in that. We do look at some of the toolkits that the CDC provides, HHS provides as well. Even the Department of Education will have toolkits. They all kind of have specific outreach designed for those populations, long-term care, for example. So we do look at that. We'll borrow when necessary. We'll adopt portions of it where we can, as well as from KDHE. But we like to kind of tailor our own to to meet our needs in Shawnee County and what we think and what we hear the barriers are and some of the issues may be.
And I just want to make sure that I understood correctly. If this is approved, and if this is approved through the Department of Health and Environment and on up, that we would be able to recoup some of our costs that we had with Ag Hall going back to January of this year.
Correct.
Okay. And then those would be then put back into our tax funds that we would be able to use for other county projects. And I see, looking at the audit finance administrative
Grinder,
services.
Director of Administrative Services, that would go into the Health Department fund for them to use for their specific needs.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Mr. Flitterlog?
I have a question. The vaccine, has it ever been approved by the FDA?
It's coming. We expect Pfizer to be approved probably early next month, we're
So
hearing.
none of them have been approved?
They're authorized at this point.
It's authorized.
Correct.
So does that put it in the category of like an experimental drug?
No, it's been approved through all the appropriate safety studies. The EUA just allows, in an emergency situation like we're in, it allows them to just get it out.
In an emergency situation, they don't test for long-term effects then, apparently.
Well, I mean, it's an ongoing sort of
But it
thing.
hasn't.
Kind of the same with,
But it hasn't been, right?
well, I mean, it is.
It can't be. It can't be.
We're watching all of the safety issues as they come back. We haven't seen any long-term.
I've
this
read
point.
about some, and it just makes me question sometimes. Do we inform everybody who's vaccinated of all the risks?
Yes, yeah, they receive the appropriate, so they have consent forms and safety sheets and all of that, and that's available ahead of time too. Anybody can, they can go to the manufacturer's website or our website. I mean, there's vaccines.gov as well.
I know that when I got my vaccine, Commissioner, they had me read, I think it was a 2-page sheet of all possible implications, and I know that was something that I had to read through and sign off on before I received my vaccine.
Do people have to give up any of their HIPAA rights as part of this consent?
No, HIPAA is strongly enforced with this.
All right. I had another question. I noticed that the CDC and a lot of, the CDC is suggesting if somebody has the vaccine, they're still required to wear a mask. Okay, so if the vaccine works,
Yeah, vaccine does work, but at this.
who are you protecting then? Are you protecting the person who's been vaccinated, or or if you've been vaccinated, you shouldn't be able to spread it, right?
Right, a little bit of both.
So, what's the use of wearing a mask if you've been vaccinated?
Well, the concern is that not enough people are vaccinated at this point, and so there's always the small risk that someone that's vaccinated can still carry and transmit the virus. We've seen a lot of asymptomatic, I shouldn't say a lot, we've seen some asymptomatic breakthrough cases, those that have been vaccinated. But the concern would be that they could transmit it to someone that's unvaccinated, or vice versa.
And I think maybe this would be a better question for our health officer.
Right.
And,
Probably.
yeah, so.
But, all right.
Any other questions for Mr. Flitterlog?
No, move to approve.
Second. Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Cook. Any additional questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item H, Commission Number 1, review proposed 2022 budget.
Commissioners, this is our fourth time to have public discussion of our proposed 2022 budget. Again, for the public and for those present, our timeline is on August the 26th would be the first opportunity for the commission to finalize their 2022 budget. On August the 23rd at 5:30 p.m. at the Shawnee County Chambers in this room, we will have a public discussion, so the public would have the ability to comment, add critique, criticism, or praise to the 2022 budget. Between the 23rd and today, we will have 2 weeks for the public to review our 2022 budget. It will be put on our Shawnee County County website for the public to be able to view the proposed budget, so they would have the opportunity to view it. They would also have the opportunity to review any budget hearing. Those are all archived. And so if there was a specific area, such as the treasurer's office or the county clerk, they would be able to look at that specific department and determine what was presented, what was allocated, or proposed to be allocated, and see if there's anything that they might have questions about. That being said, Betty, you're up.
Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. I have up for you the worksheet that we ended with on Monday. I have made a small change to the assessed value in meeting with the county clerk. There was an exemption that I had deducted from the assessed value, and the county clerk has informed me that that will not happen in 2022, so the assessed value has been adjusted for that.
Commissioners, I would like for us to look at the area of the planning department. During the budget discussion for the planning department, Mr. Anderson had asked for $41,805 to hire on an office assistant 2 position to help offset some of the load in their office. We made an allocation of $16,476. That really doesn't accomplish anything. That puts money to his account that he would not be able to hire a person, but doesn't have a purpose for. So I think that as commissioners, we either need to remove the $16,476 or add $25,329 to it so that he can hire that position and achieve that priority.
Excuse me, what was the addition if you?
$25,329. So it would be my motion to add the $25,329, so for a total increase of the $41,805, so that he can hire that office assistant 2 position. Would there be a second for the motion? I might note that our main individual out at the planning department, she is getting closer to retirement, and so the more knowledge that we can transfer and have learned in-house to create that bridge of any gap that may occur is critical to the planning department. This is a small department. There are only 2 individuals there outside of the planner.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. Are there other adjustments that the commissioners would like to see? As it stands now, we are looking at a mill levy increase, if approved, on the 26th would be 3.906, and that would, for a property owner of a $100,000 house, would result in an increase in their property taxes of $44.91. Approximately. And we added that line just so, again, for the commissioners and for the general public, to see what is the impact in actual dollars.
Yeah, and, and as I have it listed here, it's an estimated mill levy because, the clerk will determine that based on the November 1 final assessed valuation.
Any other? Commissioner Rippon?
When is our final approval date?
26th. Well, that is the first opportunity. We
Yes.
do not have to, we would not be required to approve it on the 26th, but the 26th is the first time that we would be looking at a finalization.
Yes, because we won't want to do that till after we have the public hearing on the 23rd.
Okay.
And the public hearing on the 23rd is also additionally to satisfy the new legislation of the going above the revenue neutral rate.
Yes, we've always had a public hearing, but this is just one more step that's required.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, then I will close our discussion of the proposed 2022 budget. Again, the public is invited to attend the public hearing on August the 23rd, 5:30 p.m. in the Shawnee County Chambers. The proposed budget is online on the county website, and the archive does contain all of the budget hearings. Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item I, Audit Finance. Number 1, update on revenues and expenditures as of June 30, 2021.
Good morning, Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services, here with your financial overview for June 30 of this year. We will start out looking at revenues, and we've received revenue through June 30 of $95,365,818. That is $82,598 over budget. So that is about as close to budget as we can get. That is actually 0.07% variance. And so the total, there is some differences within the different categories, but this chart here just shows you the totals and how it's made up of the different categories. Our first category we'll look at is property tax revenue. We received $81,980,054. That is $549,693 over budget. We did receive our second half taxes in June, so this is the majority of the property taxes we will receive. We will receive some smaller portions in September and October, but this is the majority of it. And although $500,000, over budget is a lot of money, it's actually only 0.66%. So it's 2/3 of 1%. So, a small percentage. So it's very close to the budget amount. Next category is other tax revenue. We received $9,002,085, and that is $19,000 over budget. So again, right on budget. Next category is charges for services. We received $3,160,669. That is $43,000 under budget. So again, right on budget. And our last category is other revenue. We received $1,223,010. That is $442,783 under budget. And this is the same as we've been talking about every month. The investment income is just that much lower than it was at the time this was budgeted. So this is the pie chart that shows the different percentages. 86% of our revenue comes from property tax. Other taxes are 10%, charges for services are 3%, and other revenue is 1%. We will go on to the expenditure side, and through June 30, we had either expended or encumbered $54,219,686. That is $1,657,000 under budget, which is 1.44%. This, again, this just shows the different categories and how the different categories impact that total. The first category is law enforcement. We spent $26,644,203. That is $1,545,000 under budget, and that is mostly with the DOC and the Sheriff's Office. And again, that is a lot of money, but it is 2.74% when you look at a percentage of their total budget for that whole category. And I'd also, just point out that even though it's that much under budget, we have spent $2,030,000 more than we did last year.
Betty, on law enforcement, I know that often at the end of the year, or as we come close to the end of the year, the sheriff likes to look forward into the next year and look at what expenditures he may be able to make to offset some of those costs, such as fuel, allocation for fuel, or tires, or equipment. And communicating that with the commission as well, letting them know some of their upcoming costs. Would we anticipate that the sheriff could probably continue in that same manner if they're getting
Yes.
closer to the end of the year?
Yes, I don't expect this variance to stay throughout the end of the year. Both of these departments usually look at items that they need for their department when they have, additional budget left and use it for those uses.
And I might just note, the commission appreciates the sheriff communicating those things ahead of time, just so that we can have that line of communication and know what anticipation the sheriff is looking at. Okay.
Next category is recreation. We spent $8,894,695. That is $241,000 over budget. Majority of that is the Expo Center. As you know, we had to advance funds for them for their cash flow, and so that is the majority of that difference. Next is Public Works. We've spent $4,789,976, and that is pretty much right on budget. Public Health, $5,403,956, and that is right on budget. Administrative Services, $7,564,626. That is $300,000 under budget, and that is mostly made up of general expenses and IT expenses. And then the last category is debt service. This has not changed since the prior month. We've spent $922,230, and again, right on budget. So this is just the chart that shows the different categories and the makeup of them and how the different categories add up. This is our pie chart that shows the year-to-date expenditures. 49% of it is for law enforcement. Recreation is 16%, Public Works 9%, Public Health 10%, Administrative Services 14%, and Debt Service is 2%. And then since this is the end of the quarter, each quarter I usually show you how much we've spent on Public Works as a whole for all the funds. So as you can see, we have spent $11,230,779 for Public Works. And the project funds make up 49% of that. The general fund for this year has only accounted for 30% of that. And then also Parks and Recreation. This is how much we have spent, $10,228,261 for all the funds. And in this one, the general fund has paid 79% of that. I'll stand for any questions.
Questions? Seeing none? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
This is an opportunity for any department head or member of the public to address the commission on any item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher, Director of the Health Department. I just want to remind everyone that this upcoming Saturday, August 7th, our Immunizations Department is going to be open some additional hours. This is to accommodate the back-to-school kind of rush that we always have before the kids get back to school. So from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m., our Immunizations Department will be open. The address is 2115 Southwest 10th Avenue. So a couple reminders, everyone over the age of 2 is required to wear a mask in the building. And also, we're asking that you bring just the necessary people to help avoid overcrowding. It is a rather small location. So we hope to see everybody there and get them kids ready for school for next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa.
Good morning, Commissioners. Justin Vest with the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office. I'm just here to remind everybody that National Night Out is this weekend, August 7th. And for those that don't know about National Night Out, it's an opportunity for neighborhoods to get together, kind of like a large neighborhood watch. Neighbors get together, get to know each other, have some food, kids play. Law enforcement has an opportunity to go to these events and have positive communications with the community. And so we plan to attend all of the county National Night Out events, as well as have mounted posse and our canine officers present at some of those events.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. Just would like to remind the general public that this Saturday, August 7th, from 9 until noon, the Household Hazardous Waste Facility will be doing their Saturday event. Feel free to come on out and get rid of all your household hazardous waste, your electronic waste, with the exception of CRTs. There's a small fee for those. But come early, avoid the rush. And if you have any questions, please call 286-4381, and the address is 131 Northeast 46th Street. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Good morning, Commissioners. Stephanie Kuhlman, Shawnee County Commission Office. The August newsletter has been posted to our website. You can find it at www.snco.us. Up at the top, under Departments, it's a drop-down menu. You select Commission. That will take you to the Commission homepage. And on the left side, click on Newsletter. And that will bring you to our August 2021 newsletter. This edition of the Commissioner's Corner was written by Commissioner Mays. On July 9th, 2021 was the ribbon cutting of the renovated Stormont Vale Event Center, formerly known as the Kansas Expo Center. The expo was completed in 1987 for $19 million. Before it was the expo, it was the original site for the Kansas State Fair, beginning in 1871. After 150 years, it still functions as the Shawnee County Fairgrounds. Today, known as the Stormont Vale Event Center, guests can enjoy luxury suites, the in-zone bar, a new sound system, more concession options, and the nice, smooth parking lot. The final product is a multi-use facility that can be a source of pride for our community for years to come. The featured department is the Shawnee County Noxious Weed Department. A few weeks ago, John Landon, the director, and Shane Ware, a weed department employee, allowed Amanda Monholland and I to see firsthand how they control noxious weeds in Shawnee County. They treat noxious weeds on all county-owned right-of-ways, other government agencies such as KDOT, the City of Topeka, all of the townships, as well as Shawnee County departments. They also sell herbicides at a cost share price to landowners of Shawnee County, and also rent equipment Monday through Friday. For more information, you can visit their website at www.snco.us/weed, or you can stop by their office. Their official address is 2044 Southwest Western Avenue, but that actually takes you to the back of the building. So it's easiest from 21st Street to turn onto Exoduster as if you were going into the Stormont Vale Event Center. There's the fire station right there on the corner, and the noxious weed office is just the second building on your left. Tonight at 6:30 p.m. at the Boys and Girls Club in Montera is the next citizen engagement event. It's open to the public. The first half will be a presentation on why traffic stops are actually very important to the community. And the last portion will be a question and answer open forum. If you can't make it tonight, there is another one later on in the month. I don't know if you've heard, but Saturday's National Night Out. And like Captain Best said, that's the annual event that Safe Streets coordinates in the community and in Shawnee County to strengthen the neighborhood connections and police community partnerships. Like he said, they will be out at the community centers and places that Shawnee County is hosting. Central Highland Park, Highcrest, Jefferson Square, Oakland, all the community centers this Saturday. Shawnee County Milestones. These are employees that were celebrating work anniversaries in July. So we've got 5 years all the way up to 20 years this month. You've heard about some of our upcoming events already. I just want to make note that Monday, August 16th, the commission meeting will be canceled due to the election canvass that the commissioners will be at. And on Monday, August 23rd, will be our public hearing at 5:30 p.m. right here in this room of the courthouse. For more stories and more photos, you can check out the County Connection. Do you have any questions?
I think I saw Commissioner Rippon in that photo of the 1895 at the free fair.
Ouch.
Man.
We were
shots
making such
fired.
good progress until now.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie, for everything. Thank you for the newsletter. Any other administrative communications? Commissioner Mays?
Globetrotters are in town tomorrow night at the Stormont Vale Event Center, so if you don't have anything else to do, go by there, take the family.
Great. Commissioner Rippon?
You know firsthand how paybacks work.
Oh, I'm waiting. I got my swim trunks already.
I have nothing to report.
We do just a reminder that as we come into the weather season, we're changing. Again, it's going to be warm, it's going to be hot. Check on your pets, check on your neighbors, make sure that everybody is staying cool. If you start to feel overheated, make sure you take a break and get some water. And just passing that on from, I'm sure, emergency management.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item 6, executive session.
There's not a need today. We are adjourned.